Welcome to the Makeover Your Mindset podcast. I'm Cassie McKenzie. Think of me as your BFF for manifestation and high vibe mindset makeovers. It's my personal mission to turn your inspiration into action so you can be, do, and have everything you've ever dreamed of having in life. This podcast will focus a ton on creating fulfilling relationships with money, friends, and soulmates, and inspire you to have fun so you can live the most extraordinary life you've ever imagined. If you're ready to take to the next step, then you've come to the right place. Thanks again for joining me. Now let's begin. It's Cassie from Makeover Your Mindset. I am so thrilled to say happy Friday to everyone. And it's been such a great week. It's been so busy. I just can't even begin to go into all of the stuff that's been happening on my end, but it's all good. And today, I just wanted to cover off on one thing. I got a question from one of my clients / friends about what do I do? It hasn't come yet. So she's trying to manifest a new job and trying to, get a new job that's perfect for her, and it just hasn't worked out. There's this stumbling block or this one that keeps coming up, and she asked me, how do I know it's going to come? Like, how do I know that all of this is going to work out for me? And I thought I'd hop on and address this live, because one thing I've learned is if one person's having the same issue, then there's going to be like hundreds of others that might be having the same issue as well. So I just wanted to quickly address it one time for y'all and see if you have any questions. So in the manifesting process, obviously, we're really good at asking for what we want, right? We know what we want. We ask with clarity and send it on out there to the universe for it to finally materialize. And when it hasn't come yet, that's usually the part where we start to notice and start to obsess and start to build up some resistance. So that might come in the form of saying, well, this isn't working out. I feel so bad about it. I'm just not, hi, how's it going? I'm just not, seeing this job come yet. Like, it hasn't worked out. They didn't choose me, things like that. So when we start to obsess over the details about it not being there yet, you're building up resistance for it actually allowing it to become, to come into your, realm, right? So, or come into your reality. So basically everything that you could ever desire is already there waiting for you. And I, to be honest, thought that was just too woo for me back in the day, because I really didn't have a good comprehension of that concept, right? It seemed like it was just a bunch of bullshit, and I didn't really know what to do with it, because I'm like, oh great, yeah, sure, I guess all that money is still waiting for me there, that perfect job. But it really is true, because what happens is there's something, there's something that we want, right? Say you want some kombucha, which is, I love this stuff, man. Say you want some kombucha, but all you do is notice how, gosh, I don't have it yet, right? We just obsess about not having it yet. Oh, I'd really like it, but it's not mine. It's not going to come to me. Well, it's there. It's actually there waiting for you. We just have to have the faith that it's going to come, right? So when you stop that whole process of becoming the receiver, when you stop that whole flow, then what happens is the big sticky resistance is there, and it's keeping what you want from getting to you. So it's pushing against the flow. It's making you it's making you have to wait even longer for what you want. So one of the ways that I've noticed that this has really worked for me in the past is I've noticed when I've really wanted something major to happen in my life, I have really, there are times where I've obsessed about not having it yet. Say, for instance, when I wanted to move to San Diego, all I could think of was how I didn't live in San Diego yet. I wasn't there yet. I was still in Atlanta. I was single. I felt like I was waiting for all this stuff to happen. And meanwhile, what am I supposed to wait for, right? Well, I shifted that because I started to really embrace these concepts. And I really started to embrace the fact that I need to be happy now, and I need to appreciate that what I have now, so that then I can have it later then too in San Diego. So like, for instance, I started meeting a lot of really great friends, and I started getting out and being social and really loving my life there, to the point that when it finally clicked that I was worthy of a move back to where I wanted to go, that it was all on the cards. There's just circumstances, events, and situations that all need to line up. And in that time, I need to be on that same frequency of the thing I desire. So in that example, it was moving to San Diego, right? I need to be on the same feeling frequency of already being there. I need to feel the feelings of already being content in my life and loving waking up every day and looking up to the sky and saying, oh gosh, it's gorgeous, and really like embracing the fact that I have to appreciate what I have, right? Because those same things, once I started doing that, and I kind of got this feeling internally that it was done. So I had like set it all into motion. So it was all done for me at that point. Even though I was still living in Atlanta, I hadn't quite moved to San Diego yet. But I knew in my heart that it was done. I knew that it was happening. And it was almost a sense of, well, I better enjoy the time I have here with my friends right now, because pretty soon I'm not going to be on this coast anymore, and I don't know when I'm going to see them again. I actually started packing things up because I was so assured that I was moving. I put half my stuff in storage because it was like, wait, there's no reason to continue. There's no reason to continue like having all this shit in my house, because I'm just gonna have to move it from place to place to place. And I actually got a place that was furnished so that I didn't have to deal with that, because in my head I knew it was temporary. In my head I knew for sure I was moving. It's just when the right time happened, I was ready to go, which really happened quickly. It happened within a month of me doing all of this. So going back to the question at hand, which at first was, I really need a new job. I really want a new job, and I'm afraid that it's not happening. I'm really bummed that it's not happening. This was a question I got from someone else. It's not from me, from someone else. How do I deal with this? What I would say is, look at that version of you that already has that job that you want. How does she feel right now? Looking back on the situation, what does she tell you about how she feels about this, right? And at the end of the day, once you become that version of you and you're looking back, the steps will unfold, and you'll not only feel like the person who already has what you want, but you will kind of erase all the resistance that you've built up from just thinking in that more of a lack mindset, right? So it's all about opening yourself up to receive what you want, and not pushing off the resistance of, oh, I don't have it yet, it's not happening, I can't believe it, I'm so miserable, and all of this. So that would be my tip there. Also, I would say that it's really important to think about it. Like, one of the ways that I've heard it, I don't know if y'all follow Abraham Hicks at all, but one of the ways that I've heard it explained is sort of like, you've got two radio channel frequencies, right? So one plays rap music, right? And they play your like Nicki Minaj, and the other one plays country music. So if you're on the rap station wanting to hear country music, you're going to wait like all the live long day for that to happen. And you're probably like never going to want to listen to the radio again, because obviously it didn't work out for you, right? So no, you have to tune yourself over to what you want to be, right? You turn yourself over into the country music station, because then you're happy. You're that version of you already listening to the country music, right? If you're sitting on the rap channel waiting for country music, come on, you're going to be waiting a long time. Similar to if you're in a shitty job that you hate and all you're doing is complaining about the shitty job that you hate when you want a different one, then you're going to be waiting a whole long time for that different one, because you're not in that mindset of already having it. So let me look. I got some questions. Sorry. Got this all rigged up here. Mental resistance, or did I? No, I did, Heather. I did. I I used to have a lot of mental resistance because I used to just sit and think about how I didn't have the things that I wanted yet, right? So I would sit there and think about like, oh my God, I'm here in Atlanta and I really want to be in San Diego and I see my friends having so much fun out there and I just can't believe it. Like, why am I stuck here? Blah, 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 right? But then once I started doing this work, and by the way, guys, you notice I found my hairbrush. I actually washed my hair. That's good step for me. Once I actually started focusing on how I wanted to feel and how like that version of me that was already living in San Diego having a fun time, I really saw it reflected in my daily life. So I started meeting all these really awesome friends, started doing the types of things I would be doing out there, but I also knew in my mind and in my heart that it was only for like, I guess, a temporary amount of time, right? So I enjoyed every minute to the fullest with my friends and I loved them and everything like that, knowing that I kept telling everybody, I'm moving to San Diego, it's happening, I know it's happening, but let's hang out now because this is perfect. You know what I mean? So does that answer your question? How old am I? I'm 40. How's the lighting? Why? I'm just kidding. So does that answer your question, Heather? Because yeah, absolutely, like that. It's really, really, really easy to have like a lot of resistance there. It's natural and you never like get out of that really. I mean, even at every single level, people have resistance to, you know, and the resistance comes in the form of like fear of not having it yet, fear of never getting it, fear of not being worthy enough to get it, and limiting beliefs about like, who am I to do that? Who am I to be like that person who has this money or this job or whatever the case may be. So even people who are making like millions of dollars a year still have these same limiting beliefs that are keeping them from hitting, you know, $1 billion, right? So that's something we never outgrow, but it's something we all have to continue to work through. One of the ways that I found actually also works well is to journal things out, like put all of your fears out on paper. They call it like giving voice to your fear. So you put all your fears out about what you're afraid of about, like in this example, not having the job yet, or why you're afraid of being stuck in that same situation, and give that out and then get it all out and then figure out what do you want instead. Then you ask yourself after that and you journal out, well, what do I want instead? And what you want instead is then what you're going to be focusing on to manifest. So it's kind of like a vacuum, right? So you're pulling out all the junk and then replacing it with all the good stuff that you actually do want. And then your brain will actually, and the universe will actually start working towards all of that and focusing on all of that instead. So, does that answer your question? I hope it did. Let me see if I have any other questions. And yes, hard not to know. It's hard not to know how when it's something big. I know. But see, the how isn't our job, right? So the how, it can happen a million different ways. And one thing, I was actually listening to an Abraham Hicks thing earlier today. And they said something really cool, and it was so they talk about contrast. So contrast being like when you don't get something, or when something happens in your life that you don't want it to happen. So the example was this guy was on an airplane ride and he lost a contact, which really would be unfortunate, right? I wear contacts too, and I've thought about if that were to happen as well. But he also said that his wife and him like had always wanted to look into doing a what's that stuff, like when the digital printing 3D print, I don't know, I'm not into that whole techie kind of stuff. I honestly don't understand it, but I know it's out there, whatever. But he wants to get into 3D printing. And hey, how's it going, guys? And when he lost his contact, he started looking for it. The person next to him, who he hadn't talked to this entire like 12-hour flight, started helping him. They got to talking, and he's an investor with 3D printing. So what looked like a contrast, or what looked like a situation that you wouldn't want to have happen, losing your contact on a dark airplane and dirty airplane. I mean, am I right? Like, let's get real here. that led him to meeting someone else. So the contrast sometimes is actually the path to the least resistance, right? So having those like kind of things that we'd be like, oh my God, that was so shitty. I can't believe that happened. That shitty moment might actually be what you need to get what you want. And it might be the fastest way to get what you want, right? Like in the instance when I wanted to move to San Diego, I had to get laid off to get moved to San Diego, but you have never seen somebody so excited to get laid off. I mean, I was out of there in 2 weeks. I couldn't wait. I threw a party. I think I threw like 3 parties. One was like a Stella and Dot party that really got out of hand. If you ladies remember Stella and Dot from like the jewelry 10 years ago, but I don't know if it's even still out there. I think it must be. That kind of stuff doesn't go away. But yeah, that party got a little out of hand. Because I was just so excited, right? I was so excited to get laid off. And I moved to San Diego. I was so happy. But it was also like just an extension. It was just like my life was already great and it just got better. So just think of it that way. You don't always have to know what or how what you want's going to happen. It's just, hey, how's it going? You just have to know that it is happening and have faith and be secure in the fact that it is. Like, it sounds crazy. It does, especially if you're new to all this stuff. But I can attest to it that it's real. It's real and it works. And it just takes a little bit of faith, a little bit of practice, and it all works out. And having fun. You've got to have fun while you're doing it. And I'm a big proponent because honestly, I think a lot of people who talk about law of attraction and manifestation, they don't really make it fun. And you've got to have fun in your life in order to feel good. You got to feel good in order for your manifestations to work. And in order for that to happen, for your manifestations to work, that's what gets you the life that, you're trying to live, right? So it's all in parts. And then, while I'm on the topic of, jobs and money and stuff like that, today is the last day, guys, for the Money is Your Boyfriend flash sale. It's $99. I was going to say, I'm not going to flash you now, but I will through my sale. It's $111 for the Money is Your Boyfriend course. And it's the only time I've ever done that. You go to makeoveryourmindset.com/money. And just through midnight today, and you'll get all 4 modules on. It's all about money manifestation and law of attraction, and it's super fun. You actually approach the topic of money. Do you see this little guy right there? I bribed him with Cars 3 in order for him to not come in and be like, I peed my pants, like yesterday. It was fun. But yeah. So you'll get all 4 modules. You learn exactly how money manifestation works because it's approached as if money's an actual person that you're having a relationship with. And this, to me, explains the energy of money to a T. So, like, if you're having a great relationship with someone and you feel good, you're going to continue that relationship, right? And probably get even more out of it. Similar with money. If you are having, like, a crappy relationship with it and you, like, stuff it in every nook and cranny and tell it how terrible and how bad it is and how much you're afraid of it, then it's probably going to still be hiding in a closet. So, if this sort of thing and this kind of topic is interesting and fun to you and you want to make more money and manifest more money and learn how to become a master money manifester, then go to makeoveryourmindset.com/money. Also, you can get the link on the little link tree in my bio section too. But it is so much fun. It's actually my most favorite thing that I have put together for this whole entire coaching thing so far. So thanks, guys. If there's no more questions, let me see. You're welcome, Heather. I hope that helped. Feel free to reach out to me if you ever have any questions. And I do go live on Facebook, usually every day during the week and sometimes on the weekends. But that's on the Makeover Your Mindset. If you're not following me there, then be sure to go follow me there too. And we have a group as well called the Badass Manifesting Queens. Boys are allowed in the group too if you'd like to join. So thanks so much, guys. Have a great weekend, and I will be talking with you soon. Ciao. Loved this episode of the Makeover Your Mindset podcast? Head over to iTunes to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. It's very much appreciated so more high vibe people like you can find us. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next episode.